That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 21.
This is a WCPT moment in labor. In the 1830s in Lowell, Massachusetts, during the rise of the textile industry, factories were hiring large groups of women ranging in ages 18 to 35 to work at their mills. The workdays were 13 hours long and had poor working conditions. By 1834, the textile market was sluggish. In response, the workers' wages were reduced by 12.5%. One of the workers, Julia Wilson, tried to organize the women to get their wages back, only to be terminated abruptly. Wilson signaled the women to strike or turn out. Over 800 women marched and signed a petition saying we will not go back into the mills to work unless our wages are continued. Ultimately, the strike failed, but they learned from their mistake and successfully battled back a rent increase on their boarding houses 2 years later. By January 1845, about a dozen of the Lowell female textile workers came together to form the Lowell Female Labor Reform Association. This would become the first organized union of women workers in American history. This has been a WCPT Moment in Labor. We're working for your rights.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Well, happy New Year's Eve, because I'm a dork. That's how I say things. I love that my friends laugh at my dorkiness. Joining me in studio is guest co-host Carmen Navarre Gercone, our law enforcement expert, former candidate for Cook County Sheriff. And I love surrounding myself with fun people. Last night we had Dwayne on. Now I've got you. He was great. He's doing the cruise ships now.
He's always funny.
I know, but Dwayne's not I'm a cruise ship comic. I can do but Dwayne is like this philosopher. He's got this gravitas.
So he's doing cruise ships?
Yeah, hey, it is we are getting crushed by social media.
Yeah.
A lot of us in my sort of, group. Not all of us. Some people have nailed it, but we it's hard because I think some of us are a little, like me and Dwayne, are a little inflexible with doing our comedy on, social media.
Yeah.
We don't do, neither one of us does crowd work really.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes a little, only spontaneously, but not with the intention of making reels. That's what a lot of comics do.
So I'm laughing as you're saying that because I just learned about what the word crowd work means.
Okay.
I never knew there's a difference, and there's this whole, I'm like, people are just funny.
Yes.
Until my sister, she started going into comedy, and so she was using all these words. I'm like, I don't know what that means. So you said crowd work, and I just smiled because I know what that means now.
Yay! Well, then I should not assume that everyone knows. So so comics have a written set. Not all of us. I have material that I can pull from. Mm-hmm. If I think the audience wants to be a little smarter, if they want to be a little political, if they want to be a little raunchier, I'll kind of get a feel for it in the first few minutes, and either it's because I know it's working or nothing's working, and I will just throw everything at the wall. It's what about this? What about da 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 da?
Yeah, hey.
And then
variety show.
Yeah, and for me, the most I do that I get involved with the audience members are meaning going off of my material, nothing that's planned, just whatever spontaneously happens in a conversation with an audience member is crowd work. So anything that's hey, what do you do for a living, or is it someone's birthday? For me, and I don't do crowd work, I do reaction work.
Yeah.
So if someone's being really rude in the crowd, I have had my favorite story I've ever.
The passive aggressive Patty comes out.
What? I have a couple stories that I love, but I guess when it went well, there's ones where it was kind of meh. I made a lot of the wait staff at comedy clubs unhappy, not unhappy, uncomfortable, because I don't just do crowd work from the stage to a table that is being obnoxious. I will walk off the stage with my microphone to the table. And I learned that from Lewis Black. I saw him do that in Appleton, Wisconsin one time. Someone was just yelling random stuff at him, and he walked off the stage with and he didn't take his mic with. I don't think it was a big room, and he just went and just addressed her and you don't want Lewis Black in your face.
Yeah.
It was amazing. For me, to your point, yes, passive aggressive. One time I got off the stage, these guys were hollering at me, and I walked off the stage, and this was true because I had just been working on material earlier in the day, and Griffin and Declan were little, and I was just boys, I got to I just have to get this done, go play with daddy, whatever, right? So these guys were heckling me, and I walked off the stage and I said, let me tell you something. Today I didn't let my kids interrupt me when I wrote this, and I'm certainly not going to let you interrupt me while I'm performing it. It was Mom.
There you go.
The greatest ever. I was at the Tropicana. So there are stock lines. So there's crowd work, and some comics draw on either their like go-to lines or there's like stock lines that used to be more popular like up until about the 90s. And one I learned a long, long time ago, I used about 12 years ago, I was at the Tropicana, Atlantic City. And these guys, and the manager told me they were going to be rude. And they were, New Jersey loud, just like, look at this broad kind of stuff, right? And there were 3 comics on the show. The first had already gone up. I was second. And then there was going to be a guy after me. And 10 minutes in, the crowd, I wanted to win the crowd over first. Before I wanted to see if they were going to be on my side if I decided to go into the crowd. So I was, I was doing fine. I was working the crowd, and I was in a cute little dress, my little ballerina flats. I used to wear a cocktail dress, like a little almost like a 50s, like fancy dress, black and white. And so I couldn't take it. 10 minutes in, I walked off the stage into the crowd to this table to the loudest guy, and I go, "Hey, it seems like you're not having a good time." And he goes, "Go back on stage, little girl." And I was like, and then the whole room was like, "What?" And I go, "No." And I go, look, there's a reason why there's 3 comics on the show. I'm not going to be for everybody. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. How about if I buy you a drink and you just keep it down for the rest of my set, right? The whole crowd boos because why should he be rewarded? And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds good." And I go, "Hey, could I have a vinegar and water for the effing douchebag over here?" The room explode. I mean, it was just like I just waited for the right moment to.
Yes. Can I get a douche for the douche?
Exactly. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. That was one of my favorite ones. And then there were a lot of stock lines in the 90s, like where'd you learn how to whisper in a helicopter, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like
my husband. Now I know where he got it from. He tells me, "Where did you learn to whisper in a sawmill?"
Exactly. It's one of those things. Yeah. Well, and then there became this drive.
I don't think it's funny when he says it though.
Oh, I used to have a boyfriend who, when I would sing in the car, he would be like, "Who sings this?" And I'm like, "Oh, Tina Turner. Why don't we keep it that way?" What is it with the men in our life? Yeah, I know. That was a bad one.
My husband does that too. I don't.
Does
like
he
it.
Can
Yeah.
Can we? He's not trainable, is he?
No, it's too late. I decided a long time ago what I'd put up with. Too late.
It's too late. Here, this is for you for the holidays. Now, one is from the bag of the one is from Pride Coffee Roasters. You can read the description of that one if you want to our audience of which blend that is.
Wait, this is coffee?
That's coffee.
Banana nut bread with chocolate drizzle?
I mean, what? Which one did you get? The Haiti? Which one did
Haiti.
Haiti. Yes, that's a single origin bean from Haiti. All of their beans are roasted to order, so I got those fresh for you.
Oh my God.
And how's it smell?
I could smell it through the bag.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
There's just a couple of little things that I picked up for you as well. I don't know if you
thank you.
I don't know if you like chocolate or not. I don't know. I make no assumptions.
Love chocolate.
And there's a little thing in there. Since you like my shirt, I think you might appreciate the little thing in there.
Shirt.
So there you go. It's by Hairbrained. They're graphic designers that make all the shirts and logos that say STFU about Chicago. You're not even from here. And I gave Carmen the one with all the pizza joints.
Yes.
The best old school pizza joints in Chicago.
Oh.
That might be a shortened version. There's also a t-shirt version of that.
Yeah, I'm going to need to send this to somebody.
I'll get you some more stickers.
I'm so tired of receiving like messages and texts. How are you holding up over there? And that,
in Chicago?
In
People.
Chicago.
I mean, maybe because of Jackie says, Jackie and Patty from Pride Coffee Roasters say, enjoy.
Oh,
Carmen,
thank you. I'm going to let you know because I'm definitely.
I'm finally on the ball.
Oh,
well,
because
I keep forgetting everyone's coffee. So right. So I had it by the door and I made sure I put my keys in the bag for the car so that I couldn't forget that bag. I'm a scatterbrain.
So yeah, my daughter Margaret and Isa drink coffee with me all the time. I'm Puerto Rican, so we're always buying our Bustelo coffee, but whenever somebody gives us like samples, like we make a coffee day and we buy little snacks and we have the new coffee. So hey girls, I'm bringing a new bag of coffee home. Pride Coffee Roasters.
That's so good. Everyone can go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and enjoy some of their incredible coffee. That chocolate is they make I think it's Andean chocolate with that's one of the vendors from our farmers market as well. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm Puerto Rican. I pronounce everything como una Latina. Zaki.
Zaki.
And it's probably not even how you say it, pero conmigo, Zaki.
It's all really. So it's like the more pure chocolate with less sugar in it too. Yeah.
We'll find
please
out.
take a bite. I'll get that done. Yeah.
Sorry, is that rapper really loud?
No, it's MSMR. What was I doing yesterday? I was sipping hot tea yesterday on the air, and Dwayne was like, MSMR. There are people who watch those who are like, MSMR. Sorry. It's okay. How's your job? I feel like we're at NPR. What's up? I hope you had a wonderful Christmas.
I did. I did have a good Christmas. My husband was sick for like 8-9 days. He caught that horrible
stomach virus?
that's going around.
The stomach one?
He had everything. He had a fever. He was coughing. He was throwing up. Before that, my granddaughter had it, high fever for 3 days. I mean, it went as high as 104. My grandson still has the cough. The rest of us managed to stay okay, but my husband, who never misses work, missed a full week of work plus the weekend prior and the weekend after. He was so sick. And it wasn't a man cold. Like I always tease him, like, oh, he's got a little man cold. He got the sniffles and he fell apart. He was actually really sick. I actually did not make fun of him.
Yeah, there's something bad going around. I do not. I ferment garlic in honey.
I did it for my son.
Did you do it?
Yeah,
really?
so we have the jar of it at home. But for anyone else who does it, you literally have to let it sit for 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, mine's like about 6-7 months old.
And then burp it.
Yeah, you gotta burp it.
Before you ever use it the first time. If you take it too soon.
Yeah, it's still raw.
Yeah,
No, you gotta
learn the hard way.
It softens. It breaks it down a little bit.
It is really good.
Yeah, and you can put you put the honey in. It's like some warm water. Have some of that. But around this time when I hear people are getting sick, like my son started having the sniffles, I'm like eating cloves and honey.
Yeah, we made a full jar of it. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Source Solar. Go to source.solar. Peter Sorellis and Warren Price will be in studio with us. Take a bite. We'll be in studio with us in a couple weeks. You know. Camera.
I'm a loud chewer.
Oh, all right. I'll turn your mic off. I can. There you go. Chew away. Chew, 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 chew. I feel like you're. Here comes the choo choo. Source Solar. Go to source.solar. Find out if it's time to put solar panels on your house or business. And Warren and Peter will be in studio to answer all your questions. Go to source.solar. Is that good?
Yeah.
Which flavor did I get you? I can't remember.
Yeah. No, it's.
I got. My mom has the Andean blueberry, I think.
No, this is. It just says chocolate.
Oh, it's just chocolate. Just pure chocolate. Okay.
Just pure chocolate. It's very good.
Oh, I thought I got you one of the flavors. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I was stuffing bags.
And I'm normally like a milk chocolate person. I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
these can be bitter.
Good. No,
yeah, it's pure.
That's why.
That's why. It's the good stuff. It's not Hershey's.
Burozaki.
Source.solar. Also go to MonacoBrewingCompany.com. And thank you. I've been getting messages from folks who are following Monaco Brewing Company and are subscribing to the newsletter. I wrote a piece yesterday. It's been a very challenging time. And I have been doing some introspection and been doing reading and listening to teachings of the Stoics and Buddhism and about managing emotions and not like planting energy, not chasing outcomes, because you can't control what other people do. You can't control what happens to you. As we all know, it's in this last year, you only manage how you respond.
How you respond to it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm working very hard on, because I'm thinking about it. Like I just made a video about my dad, because I'm trying to look at like where some of this came from. I'm trying to think of when I started having like too much momentum of thought, and I remembered this. I remembered when I was about 7 years old. I was second grade, and I was in the library, or I checked out a book from the library, and I was chewing gum, and the gum fell on one of the pages of the book and got stuck. And I tried rubbing it off, and then I got really scared, and I just closed it, and I put it back in the library. And I was awake all night thinking that I was going to get in trouble for getting gum in that book, and nothing. But all night I was awake, just terrified. And that's the first time I remember having like too much momentum of thought, my imagination getting away from me, and also not saying, "Hey, I got gum in the book." Like at 7, you just want to cover it up.
Yeah, you want to cover it up because you don't know. But I don't know. I guess we always learn about ourselves, especially once you have your own children. Mm-hmm. Then you learn about what affected you as a child and what you've now. That generational trauma, it's a real thing.
Right.
But it's hard as an adult to be like, okay, what moment in my life defined this for me, and why do I do that?
Yes.
And it takes courage, I want to tell you, Patty. Well, as hard as it is, it's also very courageous to admit that we need to work on ourselves. That's not an easy thing to do.
No, and last night I was talking to Dwayne on the air, and I because before that, one of the hardest things I went through a lot of hard things by the time I was 5, and but when I was 5, I begged my dad to let me walk home from school with my friends. I wanted to be like one of the big girls because they were like in 2nd grade or whatever. Yeah. It's 1976.
Yeah,
kids were walking home.
We're the same age. I know.
Yeah, and because my dad would pick me up, and he told me that I could walk home with my friends. Only he came to walk me home. And I lost my mind. I was so upset. I threw a tantrum. I wouldn't walk with him. I ran ahead of us. And when we got home, he threw me down. And it was the first time he ever spanked me. And my whole life, and because the other way he responded to things, he would get mad at me. He would lash out when I disrespected him. So I always thought it was because I embarrassed him in front of my friends. That was the story I've been telling. That's the movie plot I've been telling myself. Only now I think about it, and this is taking me 50 years, not to absolve him, but to put context, right? The other element is that I had been abducted and sexually assaulted when I was 3. And at 5, I never dealt with it. I didn't even, it was like, that was.
You didn't know there was something to deal with.
I literally went around telling people a boy touched my potty when I was 3 years old. Like I don't.
Yeah.
So, but also my brother had been missing for over a year at that point, when we didn't find out that he was deceased, that he had been murdered for another 2 years.
Right.
So now looking at that, he didn't want to lose another child. He didn't want me to get hurt again. He was angry. He was angry at himself, and and again, doesn't absolve him because how horrible. But I also know, and having talked to his family members at his funeral about the trauma he went through. So I'm just trying to find. I'm grateful. Like Griffin, I'm telling Griffin I'm doing this, and like he always wonders how I was such a good mom.
Here's what I tell everybody: you have to give yourself grace. We do the best we can, just like our parents. Like, it's not until we become adults that we recognize that our parents did the best they could with what they had, and we only realize that because we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I tell my kids, I have 5 of them, and I'm like, listen. Thank God you get insurance till you're 26 and you can see a therapist. Maybe they can help you with all the damage I caused, but none of it was intentional, and I can't keep feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
I had the best intentions. At the end of the day, I even have a sweater now that says, I'm just a girl. At the end of the day, I was doing the best I could with the information I had and with the resources and the tools I had. And my grandkids get to reap the benefits of a perfect grandma. I'm sorry that they didn't have the perfect mother, but I don't carry that guilt anymore.
No, I did. I'm going through a little bit of that, just seeing how angry, how much because I hang on to anger. That's what I'm working through is anger, grudges, rage, and I see. I'm like the way I've responded. Like we'll talk about this when we come back, but also like elections. I mean, I'm talking about like working through. I know this sounds like personal work, but I know that people have responded to me in a way that I hadn't expected, or to my stories, and I appreciate that. And I'm working through it so that I can also be ready for what we need to do next for each other going into 2026. So it all goes together. Let's take a break here. We'll continue our conversation in just a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150.
Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive.
Very happy to welcome John Fugelsang back to our airwaves.
Joan, I love CPT so much. I've had so many good times at your studio, and I just want to thank you for what you do. I think what you do is just so smart and so positive and strong and moral, and you model for these liberals how to do it with intelligence and guts. Always intelligence and guts.
Joan Esposito, weekday afternoons 2 to 5 on WCPT 820.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Leave your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn. If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
In regards to hecklers at comedy clubs, Mark texts, I remember when I had my first beer is also a big a comeback from comics. That's a stock line. I remember when I had my first beer. I remember one of the other things I used to say was because the hardest thing, and this is something that nobody in the audience would ever consider. There's a moment where some clubs will drop the check toward, like, when the headliner's not done yet. And when they do that, the whole audience checks out to look at their bill. Like, there is nobody paying attention. It is like there are comics that lose their minds on stage, right? yeah. The whole, like, they come around and they give you your check and everyone's like, oh, and like no one's listening. Like, here's the comics big closing, their dismount.
You know what? I would never have even thought about it. I do the same thing. It's like, and then you're trying to figure out the tip, and do you want this?
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the stock lines in the 90s was, I know you guys are looking at your checks going, who ordered tip? Who? Or tax? Who ordered a tax?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
I would never have even thought about that.
I won't share any names.
Okay.
I won't share any names, but and it was funny because this headliner would go around, and because he would get mad at the club from the stage, he would tip all the wait staff because he knew that he was impacting their tips. But he's like, wait till I'm done.
Yeah.
Just wait till there's an urgency. It's weird. Every club is so different. Because sometimes there's headliners that go way over time. So now the club is at a disadvantage.
They want to close out.
Yeah. And they might have another show coming in.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And they got to clean and get ready for the other show.
Yeah. I think it's getting better now because of point of sales, like with the little, register thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works out that way. I also wonder, like, if you should just give them your card and then check it at the end, so you're not going through the whole thing, giving them the card at the, I don't know.
A lot of
it's not my job to
have
figure
like
out.
a 2-drink minimum and all that stuff too.
People hate
it's
that.
like
That's such a weird, and I don't know if it was Zanies that started that, but it was around that time in the 70s. What was weird about that, and what continues to be the case, what I was going to say, is that that's how they make their money. Like the comics, because a lot of us are not famous, but we put on a good show. You trust the comedy club to book somebody talented, but we're not big names, so we're not. So they give away tickets. Like, they know you're not going to buy the ticket to see maybe Patti Vasquez, but I'll go for some drinks and see if she's funny.
Yeah.
So they make the money off the drinks. Now they've got you in the door, but you got in for free.
I don't mind it because if I'm going out and I'm going to have a couple drinks and appetizers anyway. So it's
yeah, it's always been a weird business model to me. That's why I love doing theaters, and I love venues like Lincoln Lodge is great.
I haven't gone there yet.
You haven't gone there?
No, I
Your
haven't.
sister performed
I
there
know, but I haven't gone there yet. So there's a few places she's been at.
Yeah.
That I haven't gone to.
She did great. I have some of the photos. I'll give you some.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so I've been to see her at a few places like Comedyplex. I love Comedyplex.
It's so nice.
It's cute. So I've been to those things. But normally when she calls me now for a last minute thing, like I look and I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to pick up because I'm not sure if she's trying to get me to go back on stage or run another 5K.
Yeah,
or
these are things. Is it hard to have boundaries? And then this is another thing for self-care going into 2026.
Yeah, I'm not. When it comes to certain people in my life, like my big sister, Evelyn Cato, it's hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will be more selective in when I send up the Carmen signal. in 2026? Because you are very responsive. You are incredibly generous with your time, with your love, and so I'm very grateful for that going into 2026.
Well, thank you. I'm grateful for you too.
Thank you.
I am. It's okay. It's just my sister. It's childhood trauma.
Well, that's a little bit. So I find that my husband was saying this earlier today too. Steve was talking about how we're all, if you are engaged, if you are outraged with what's happening, like mental health is a true challenge on top of anything else you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I was listening to Ed Yonka, the head of the ACLU in Illinois. He was hosting for Joan, and he was talking about, like, if he had been sitting in this chair a year ago, he would tell you about the dread that he had, like, trying to, like, get ready for the battle in front of us and things like that, and that it has been as bad and in many cases worse than he thought the first year of this administration was going to be. Like, just even the way Chicago has changed with, as someone in law enforcement, like, this has got to be unreal.
It is unreal. And it's hard to walk that line because a lot of the changes that have been made as far as in legislation and things like that, I agree with. They're good reasons. Like, people should not be held in jail just because they can't afford to pay a bond.
Cash bail.
I get that. Yeah, no, and I agree with that. But then there's other fallouts of that and of that whole thing that just don't work for me. But I'm stuck with not voicing my opinion on those things because then I'm labeled with that monster over there, and I'm nothing like what's going on in D.C.
Or even with ICE agents.
Like what's going on with ICE. So now ICE is here. So now it's like, well, I cannot, like, I almost feel like I'm responsible for keeping those of us that are a little more moderate democratic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm holding the line and not letting anyone else go over to
MAGA?
To the MAGA side. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I know you don't agree with everything that's going on over here, but let's at least keep talking, because what's going on over there is a freaking nightmare. Do you see what they're putting us through? And I think a lot of law enforcement feels like that because we're on the front lines.
Yeah.
Like, we're dealing with the effects of the legislation and the truth of the operations of what they've rolled out. And then we're dealing with the emotions and the feelings of the victims.
Yeah.
Who don't feel. So we're dealing with the whole entire impact. And then we're being called names, and we're being told we're not trained enough, and we're being told we're not doing enough, and so it's almost like we're carrying the brunt
Our local
of
law
public
enforcement
safety, and we're not responsible for every part of it. We're just the enforcement part, and it's frustrating. I feel like, again,
because you know why you got into this. You know why you got into this, and you also have the experience of over 20, almost 30 years of this.
31 years, and I'm back again. I told you I'm back in a police academy, so I'm going through it now again, learning about all the new laws that take effect, and so it's
Carmen.
it's a lot.
It's heavy. It's a lot. Carmen Navarre Gercone, guest co-host today. We'll take a break here. If we can open the phone lines if we want. 773-763-9278. That's the number to call and join our conversation anytime. That's 773-763-9278. You can also text us, and I'll get some of those texts in a moment when we come back on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150. Don't forget, if you're not hearing the radio signal or it's kind of a little bit static, you can watch our Facebook live stream. You can also download the iTunes app or listen to us at heartlandsignal.com. More in a moment. Yay.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Look for mainly cloudy skies tonight with a chance of light snow. A low temperature of 23 degrees with winds out of the west at 10 to 20, a dusting up to an inch of snowfall. Wednesday, we'll see a chance of snow with about an inch of accumulation and a high of 30, with northwest winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour. New Year's Eve, light snow, low of 12. New Year's Day, Thursday, partly sunny and a high of 22. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 21.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Mind Over Matters.
Dr. Amy Harris Nuan, as you know, this show is about challenging you to think differently, to make different choices in your life, to take action, to create positive outcomes in your life. So I want to challenge you to look at your life holistically. To where am I satisfied? What areas need attention? And then go to work, take in action what you need to do.
Mind Over Matters with Dr. Amy Harris Nuan. Sundays at 10 a.m. on WCPT 820.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy who can fix my lamp.
I do. At the Township of Lyons Repair Cafe, neighbors help neighbors repair all sorts of things from lamps to vacuums. Little acts of mutual support that make a big difference.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy who can notarize documents?
The Township of Lyons has lots of notaries on staff ready to help.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy?
At the Township of Lyons, we are your guys. Whatever you need, we work to bring more resources right to you.
Check out the Township of Lyons online, Lyons with a Y, LyonsTownshipIL.gov.
WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
Union Strong Chicago continues to lead the way with progressive values and in preserving democracy. Your support of the Minocqua Brewing Company Super PAC efforts in Wisconsin and beyond strengthens the fight against MAGA Republicans. You can now purchase progressive beers like Labor Lager, Love Wins Fruited Sour, and the Resistance IPA in Chicago at Rogers Park Provisions, Diversity Beer, Wine and Spirits in Lakeview, Park West Liquor, Wine and Beer in Lincoln Park, Logan Square Liquors, and Tip Top Food and Liquors in Westtown. Visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com for all their Chicagoland locations. As always, no matter how bad our sports teams are, please drink responsibly.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
What do you got to say? Tell me. Tell me to my face.
I love that
Tell me to my
voice.
ear. That's Dan Levy.
I've got a lot to say.
Oh, I don't know if it's Dan Levy. Well, Dan Levy does some of it. I don't know if Dan Levy does that. I've got something to say. Maybe he does. Maybe he's great at
Whenever I hear that, I got a lot to say.
Got a lot to say. That's why I love having a radio. This is so therapeutic for me. Like for the first 6 months I did this for free until I started getting sponsors. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Do it I was only an hour show, so I could work all day and then come over and do this for an hour.
Oh,
it was great.
When you love something, it's not work, they say.
Exactly, and I do love doing this. We have a text coming in. People like Carmen and Dwayne are great guests because you guys always have the most interesting conversations. It's true. Well, that's why I love doing this. I mean, I can, talk about the news of the day, come in and tell you, sort of do a monologue on what my take is on things. But I love being around my friends.
Yeah. There's comfort in that. Just conversation, just talking and different views, because we don't always agree on things. We definitely do see some things differently.
We've never argued, though.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that. You can disagree and not argue.
Well, that's part of the work that I'm doing, and this is the one I hate the most, is there's this great content creator called Stop Suffering Club. You know how there's the Do Not Care Club?
Oh, yeah.
She's amazing.
Love her.
She's amazing. And there's people who...
I told you, I'm feeling that. Patty got hot, cold, so she put on her sweatshirt. I'm like, well, I'm having a private summer, so if I could take this off, I would.
What's amazing how Annabelle Laval is doing a whole series of what she's going through. Mine was weird. I've been done for a bit. I still once in a while get a hot flash, but not that as often. My fluctuations. But the Stop Suffering Club, this woman she's young, and it's annoying how insightful she is, perceptive. So she talks about, one of the things that she talks about is loving the fact that one of your characteristics is being angry. She says that's poor wisdom. Right. Being able to manage your anger is good wisdom, and really, putting it aside, not even addressing your anger is excellent wisdom, like that kind of thing. And being proud of having enemies, like directing your rage towards enemies is poor wisdom. But again, not ignoring your enemies is good wisdom. Seeing your enemies as your
you're obviously struggling with this part, Patty, because you had to take a moment and you closed your eyes. So I'm gonna acknowledge that you're having a hard time with this part of it. I'm gonna give you,
Carmen. It's so hard. This is gonna be hard for everybody. Okay, now
so go
remember
ahead,
this.
Right,
okay. Putting all your rage against your enemies is poor wisdom. Ignoring your enemies is good wisdom. Seeing your enemies as your teachers is excellent wisdom. See, it's hard. Lizzie, you're not good with that. Look at you. Your lip is so.
And my nostrils flared.
I can't.
I had to take it all in.
It all hurts, right?
As my teachers.
As your teachers, yeah.
Okay. So.
Right. See.
I guess that goes with.
Right. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. So even I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that only because we always say, like when we did training, like for supervisors, we're like, when you were going to become a supervisor, think about the best supervisors you've had and take some lessons from them.
Right.
And then think about the worst supervisors you've had and don't do to others what they did to you.
Right.
So
It's
in
the teacher.
essence, they are your teachers.
They are your teachers.
But the way you said it
I know,
sounds
it hurts.
hard to swallow.
Well, especially when you think of all the people that we've come across, especially when we're dealing with government and politics, especially when we're talking about what's going on. I mean, like nationally, like she even talks about, like, you know, with Trump, like what is he teaching us? I mean, he is teaching us what we don't want. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Right. And so it's just hard. Like and then there's a part where she talks about the only way to get to baseline, and I can't, I'm not, is you have to love you have to come your core belief has to be love.
I'm already there.
Yeah.
So
but
I
can
will
you
tell
love
you
your
as
enemies?
angry I can,
Okay.
which is an annoying trait to other people. So my entire life, even my husband everyone would be like, you can't listen. Like, Carmen, did you meet so-and-so? No, don't ask Carmen. She loves everybody. Like, that's literally what they'd say. And I don't. There's people I dislike.
Right.
There's people I can even say, like, I hate them. But I would never act on that, and
Right.
I won't because I can't. And then I always try to find a reason. Like, my thing is, what is it about them, and why does that bother me so much?
Sure.
And so, for some reason, that's how I deal with it. And so I don't carry that too much. I'm a very forgiving person.
I need to come to that. That's what I'm working. And that actually, so I believe I'm working on writing I'm taking responsibility for my role in situations that, you know, that I didn't have to harden my heart so much about.
But that's what you needed to do at that time. So
Sure.
again, I'm back to give yourself grace.
Yes, I agree with that. But I can't continue to. There's some people that I also need to be able to be around. Right, so I'm going to send some texts out on New Year's Day, I think is my plan. Of, hey, look, I'm looking back at what I did. I'm taking responsibility for it. You don't have to respond. I have zero expectations on this. I hope that you're well. I deeply apologize.
I hear you, especially now.
There's going to be a lot of them.
because
So if you're out there listening, it's not you. Just kidding.
If you're out there listening and you're expecting a text on New Year's
if you're
Day,
hate listening to me, you're not. Is
it's
it me?
probably not you.
I have a working list, and I have family members that I have not, and that's the one it's like 25 years with two of my sisters. Yeah, they wanted nothing to do with my dad when he was dying. And I just have never been able to let go of that. And again, it's where are they coming from? Well, their lived experiences were different than mine. Yeah. I had my dad at my house, but what happened to me when I was 5 that I talked about him spanking me was not a unique situation. So, you know what I mean? They didn't get to see the other, while it took me 50 years to get to why he might have done that, I also saw other sides of him that they didn't get.
Yeah. And you know, it was another annoying young person on social media that they have so much insight. I love them. We have to listen to young people more.
Yes.
We really do.
What are
their
they
insight
doing?
is amazing. I don't know, but we'd be better off if we listened to more of them. But they brought up the fact that you're not the same parent to every child. So your father wasn't the same father to each of you.
No.
I joke around with my siblings. I say, you know, your mom did this. And we all have the same mother, but she wasn't the same mother to each of us. Why? Because as children, we want and we need different things, right? Because our love language as individuals is different. So if we get what we need from our parent at that point, then what do you need? Like she said, if you're a child whose love language is touch and you get spanked by your parent, that will destroy you. If your love language is acts of service and your parent spanks you, you don't care because you're going to remember that they, you know, took you to the park or took you to because that fed the part of you that you need. So that's why.
Yeah, he took me to the racetrack. Just like Jim would have. Jim would have taken me to the racetrack when I was a kid, wouldn't you, Jim?
Yeah, I sure would. I sure would, Patty. How are you, Carmen?
I'm good, Jim. How are you?
Not too bad. First of all, you mentioned New Jersey.
Yeah.
Now, I hate to say anything bad about New Jersey because they're reliably Democrat, but I was talking about the track. I was in a horse book there for about 3 days. They got stuck at a casino there, and they were some of the loudest people, and I've been in horse tracks all over the country, but they had some loud buggers in there, so I can understand when you're working in Jersey. But the reason I called... But the reason I called, how about the SNAP program? Now, this is really insane. I don't know if it's Kennedy Jr. or who it is, but they don't want the people to buy sugary drinks and candy bars with the $6. This is $6 a day now, mind you. Now, I dare any kid. You gave him the SNAP card and said, "Get yourself a couple of snacks." Well, I guarantee you, it would run over $6. I mean, what a candy bar? Candy bars are $2 a piece. A Coke is $2. I mean, you know what I mean? How are you going to live on $6 a day? But they want to manipulate this program. The Republicans, they want them to go through hoops to get this $6 a day.
Well, here's the other thing. Newsflash: the healthy food costs way more money. So $6 will get them an apple. No kidding. You're exactly right, Carmen. Try to eat healthy at $6 a day. Good luck with that. The other thing is, think about it, we're losing our health care. Next week, millions of people will have to go without health care because the truth of the matter is, by the time your rent is paid and so on and so forth, you figure, well, I'll take a gamble. I'm not going to pay some exorbitant rate for health care. Because what's the difference? I won't have any health care if I'm homeless. I'm living in a tent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, none of this makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense. None of it does. And real quick, this Buffino nut, he said today, "I'm coming back to Chicago every year. I'm coming back to Buggy every year." Yeah. Now, you can't tell me, Carmen, that when you were in law enforcement, you thought about this was a sane way of getting rid of illegal immigrants. They're not illegal in my mind. They're immigrants. This is a melting pot. The United States. We've got a Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired and huddled masses. And that's what I believe. I believe everybody has and all these immigrants are all working jobs. No, every time they come back, they do more and more damage to the relationship that local law enforcement has been trying for years to bridge that gap with the community. And every time they come back, they erode it even further.
Yeah, this is going to be generational trauma here, too.
Yeah. Hey, Carmen, I mean, you work with people on the street and so on and so forth. They might, you're not going to ask, let me see your papers. You're going to ask, what happened to the neighbor next door? How can I assist you in this effort?
And that's right. And that's what they've been trying to do as law enforcement. We've been trying to build that relationship so you can help solve cases, so you can help the victims, so you can do the right thing, so you can direct people to get orders of protection, so you can direct them to the courthouses. And now they're afraid to talk to you because they're afraid you're going to ask them for papers.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But anyway, you guys have a great night. Yeah, but anyway, you guys have a great night. Thank you.
Happy New Year, Jim.
Happy New Year, Carmen.
I expect to hear from you tomorrow. Thanks, Jim. Happy New Year. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk to a candidate for the Iowa State House
Talk
seat.
about listening to young people.
I mean, she's only 22.
Yes.
I was doing open mics when I was 22.
Well, I was having my second child. So there you go.
Different lives.
Different lives.
Leila Staton will join us in just a moment. She's candidate for Iowa House of Representatives, District 54. More in a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150. More in a moment.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
The number one thing couples fight about is money. You probably know that by now. If the topic wasn't fraught enough, sometimes it becomes even more complicated when a married couple's income defies stereotypical gender norms. That is to say, that a wife makes more money than her husband. Why? Well, that can lead the man to feel threatened, according to studies, lash out, and not be as supportive as he probably should. One expert we talked to about this said, even when women do out-earn their husbands, they are still doing more than half, sometimes even all, of the household work. Women are less likely to have leisure time as a result, especially outside the house. So, what do you do? Well, force those difficult conversations. They're important. Tell each other how you really feel, and I guess perhaps most importantly, what you really need. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
We're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home with guest co-host Carmen Navarre Gercone. Is your family watching?
I don't know.
Are they calling?
I got some text messages.
Did you ever do crank calls? We'll talk about crank calls later. I was thinking about that the other day. Joining us on the line is candidate for the state house seat for District 54. 54. Let me reset. Hi, let me redo this. Hey, everybody. Joining us on the line right now is Leila Staton. She's candidate for Iowa House of Representatives District 54. And she is the daughter of Heather, who both together lead the insufferable wenches of Iowa. Leila, congratulations on deciding to run for office. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, what inspired? I know you guys have been politically active. You've been really getting out there and organizing and connecting with folks. When did you decide to run for office?
I decided in April, and I launched campaign in May.
Oh, so cool. I mean, and is it everything you thought it would be?
It is everything and more.
Oh, my God.
For sure.
What has surprised you the most?
I think the amount of support in my district.
Oh, nice.
Because a Democrat hasn't run since 2020.
Okay.
And so I didn't expect so much support in the district. And I have a ton of support, which is great and surprising.
That's wonderful, because are you hearing from people who maybe voted one way and they're like, it's time for me to change ships in the sea? I don't know how you would say that.
Sometimes, yes. And then sometimes people are just excited to have two candidates on the ballot.
Yeah, to have a choice, to have a conversation.
To have a choice?
What?
Right.
So without having had a candidate in 5 years, so is this incumbent? I mean, how long have they been in that seat?
I think they've had the seat since 2018.
Mm-hmm. So about 7 years. What are people telling you when you have events, when you go door to door? What are some of the issues that are resonating with folks? What's top of mind for them?
I think number one is definitely the lack of affordability in our state. That is one of the main things I hear, along with our water quality crisis. And that goes with our cancer rate, which is top in the nation, embarrassingly enough. Those are the top issues. And then our public school voucher system, or private school voucher system, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, that's really hurting a lot of states. I know we've talked to our friend Jess Piper in Missouri. In a lot of places, there's such a lack of funding that they've gone to 4-day school weeks. Are you guys experiencing the same, where they're shortening the school week and then lowering the labor age for kids so they can go work on farms and at fast food restaurants? Is that happening in Iowa too?
I don't think it's quite to the rate of Missouri, but I do see that becoming a little bit more common in the future if we continue with this voucher scam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because a lot of states. How much has it really affected? I mean, are parents telling you, like, I don't know how we can manage this way?
Yes, so in rural Iowa, specifically in my district, we only have public schools. We have one private school. It's a K-8. No student graduates from it.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the schools here are becoming defunded, and that's not good for anyone. That's bad for every single community. So parents are upset about it, teachers are really upset about it, and students should be upset about it, but I know some of the students don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I think for their experience, and I will say, like, a lot of us, we're coming from our own experience, and obviously a lot of working parents, have become accustomed. Look, in Chicago, we used to have teacher strikes, and I remember a lot of people fled the public school system to parochial schools because they were tired of the strikes every year.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, like the last one we had. But for the kids, it was just kind of like, oh, we're home from school. And for our parents, it was like, I can't.
Yeah, I got to find childcare. I got to find last minute.
Right. And it shouldn't, and it's not that school is childcare. What are some of the other things as far as what you're talking about, like the water? I mean, this is something I think is not being discussed around the country, which is how catastrophic the cancer rates are in Iowa. What are some of the issues that you are telling folks that you would do to alleviate or address that for them?
Yeah, I think the first step would be to regulate and penalize pesticide companies that have, in functioning form, legal immunity. So they aren't held accountable for any mistakes they make, and they're very unregulated as far as requiring farmers to use X amount of pesticide or, and the governor in the last legislative session basically gave them the go-ahead to continue operating, even though they know that it's not healthy for everyone.
Yeah.
Lovely Governor Kim Reynolds. So I think step one would be to hold those companies accountable and kind of also, in the same vein, hold agribusiness accountable, corporate farming that are buying up all of our family farms.
Man. Yeah, that's so terrifying. Yeah. Well, because, with all the issues, the tariffs, the soybean prices, and China buying, all of their supplies now from Brazil, and then there's this, I guess there's going to be some, money becoming $12 billion isn't going to cover the $50 billion, and the promise of they'll maybe bring the purchasing back from China, but they're still going to get it from Brazil as well. Are there farmers that are at their wits' end? I mean, we heard that there's like 1 in 3 in some states that might go bankrupt.
Oh yeah, 100%. And along with that, a majority of our farmers are 60 and older. Oh. So we have no new gen farmers.
Yeah.
So it really is kind of a dying career.
Yeah, my daughter went to Cole College, and she had in Cedar Rapids, and she lived in Iowa for a couple years, and she said that was the thing. A lot of her friends and stuff came from around there, and they were their family's own farm, and none of the kids wanted to stay to run the farm. They were all going to go to other places, and their families were struggling, and she kept asking if any of them felt bad, and they said no, their parents don't want them to take it because it's gotten too hard. It's not like it was before.
Yeah, you can't make money.
So that's a whole cultural shift. And
wow. So a lot of the corporate farms, and we also know the acre trader. I don't know how much that's had an impact yet, or what they're doing as far as like buying up land at pennies on the dollar. Are we seeing any of that in Iowa too?
Yes.
Oh man,
absolutely
that's heartbreaking. What can people do to support your campaign, my friend? How should they reach out? I know we have friends that listen in Iowa. We want to make sure we've got volunteers and donations coming your way.
If you have time to volunteer in person, I have a sign-up form on my website, and it just asks a few questions about, how I can contact you and kind of mobilize you, and that's for door knocking. And then if you don't have time to spend with me in person, we do phone banking, sharing my things on social media to help me reach every person in District 54, and then, of course, donating.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the questions that you asked in a video on Facebook is, for those of you who go door knocking, do you talk to the Ring camera? Not only that, Leila, it's like another performance for me. I'm like, da-da-da-da-da. But I also do, what I would do is have a song, like from Love Actually, where he says, tell him it's carolers. I would have one that said, hi, my name is Leila. I'm running to be your state rep. So you have sheet after sheet. Just came by to say hi. And you can say something at the end, but it's kind of fun. You find creative ways that do a show for the Ring camera.
Yes, it's super fun. I talk to them as if they're a person.
Yeah, it's a way to do it. Do you ever have someone say, I'm not home right now, but just leave your stuff? Got it.
I haven't.
Oh, good.
I haven't yet, but I'm sure there will be a time where that happens.
How many doors would you say you've knocked on so far? Do you guys keep a number going, a tally going?
Yes, I keep a tally going. I'm at a couple hundred so far.
Excellent.
The snow, nobody wants to stand there with the door open when it's snowing. So I completely understand that.
And do you have like pretty big gaps from door to door? Because like it's not like Chicago where you've got just like the next door is like 10 feet away.
Yep.
Yeah, drive.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are smaller towns, so you can knock that town, but then you have to get in the car relatively soon to get to the next one.
And now, when's the election?
It is November 3rd, 2026.
Okay. Oh, you got good. I'm
Oh,
glad
so
you
you
got
have time.
Yeah, I'm glad you got started so early. So you got a nice long ramp to like get your name out there, to like start having events. We'd love to talk to you again and see how it's coming, and check in on you anytime, Leila.
Of course. Thank you so much.
And follow Leila. Remind them, The Insufferable Wenches on Facebook, and you can find out more information about the campaign there too.
Yeah.
Excellent. I love it, Leila. Go get them. Say hi to your mom for me.
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck. Let's take a break
Thanks.
here. Thank you. She's so sweet. Let's take a break. And good for her. Like getting in there, rolling her sleeves
That's
up.
what
and
it
getting
is.
the work
Just
done.
talk about it.
Exactly. Let's take a break here. We'll continue our conversation on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150. We're so glad you're here in Seattle. Everywhere. Yay.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste. Plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. The Trump administration announced it is freezing child care funds to Minnesota after a series of fraud schemes in recent years. The announcement comes after years of investigation that began with a $300 million scheme at the nonprofit Feeding Our Future, for which 57 defendants in Minnesota have been convicted. Prosecutors say the organization was at the center of the country's largest COVID-19 related fraud scam. Court documents are revealing more about the Trump administration's efforts to prosecute Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The AP's Marcela Sanchez has the story.
A newly unsealed order in the criminal case against Abrego Garcia reveals that high-level Justice Department officials pushed for his indictment, calling it a top priority only after he was mistakenly deported and then ordered returned to the U.S. Abrego Garcia is seeking to have the case dismissed on the grounds that the prosecution is vindictive, a way for President Trump's administration to punish him for the embarrassment of his mistaken deportation. He's pleaded not guilty in federal court in Tennessee to charges of human smuggling. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
Forecasters are warning of even more frigid weather in the Midwest. Andrew Orison with the National Weather Service says it means near 0-degree wind chills, and it will move to the northeast.
Much of the rest of the country, especially by the end of the week, the Central Plains, Southern Plains region, and much of the western United States will actually see Pacific air coming across, and what that's going to do is actually allow for temperatures to be above average.
Nationwide, nearly 74,000 customers are without power. About a third of that is in Michigan. A federal judge temporarily blocked the deportation of South Sudanese immigrants in the U.S. Authorities say rescue crews responding to a report of an injured hiker who fell down a slope near a Southern California mountain trail found the man and two of his companions dead. This is AP News. New York's Times Square is gearing up for New Year's Eve.
Ryan Seacrest is returning to co-host Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve for a 20th year, and for him, it never gets old.
You know, the nostalgia, the moment, the tradition, the fact that we can all start over and from scratch every year when this ball drops, all that is so significant.
This year, he has a secret weapon to stay warm.
I actually, for the first time, I have electric socks. They have batteries in. I've never seen this before, but I have them. Let's see if they work.
His co-host Rita Ora is also looking forward to ringing in the new year in Times Square again.
As your favorite Brit, I'm just really honored to be a part of the celebrations.
The show features 42 artists and 90 performances, and the star of the show, besides the New Year's Eve ball, will be Diana Ross. Julie Walker, New York.
I'm Ed Donahue.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Look for mainly cloudy skies tonight with a chance of light snow. A low temperature of 23 degrees with winds out of the west at 10 to 20, a dusting up to an inch of snowfall. Wednesday, we'll see a chance of snow with about an inch of accumulation and a high of 30, with northwest winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour. New Year's Eve, light snow, low of 12. New Year's Day, Thursday, partly sunny and a high of 22. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 21.
WCPT replay.
Joining us now is the brand new executive director of the Gender Cool Project, Chase Glenn.
I'm a trans man who grew up in a small conservative town in a pretty religious family, and this was back in the 70s and 80s when we didn't have the internet. We didn't have, necessarily a whole lot of support even for trans folks, and where I grew up, I didn't think I knew anyone who was trans, didn't hear any stories about trans folks. And so my upbringing really just, as I was able to discover who I was, just set me up for sort of understanding the importance of the support and the stories that organizations like Gender Cool tell.
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing ass says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our drive home. Joining me in studio is guest co-host Carmen Navarre Gercone. She is our law enforcement expert, former candidate for Cook County Sheriff. And we're thrilled that you're here. We want to first thank our sponsors. Carmen is taking home with her a bag of Pride Coffee Roasters. She has the Haiti blend, which has, tell us what the notes are on that.
Banana nut bread with chocolate drizzle. And it...
Heaven.
You could has a little hole so you can get a little.
There you go.
Oh my God, it smells so good.
And if you're watching our Facebook live stream, you can check out some of their gay swag because I have on my Sounds Gay. I'm in. Can you see
I love that. Yeah.
So to get some great items on their website, go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. Their single origin beans are roasted to order. And thank you so much for your support of Driving It Home, Patti Vasquez. And by purchasing from our sponsors, you are continuing to support the show and the station. So thank you to Source Solar for your continued support and sponsoring the show. Go to source.solar, make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. Peter and Warren Price will be in studio in the next couple weeks. Carmen had the pleasure of learning more about solar panels with Peter and Warren recently. And that interview is available on heartlandsignal.com. By the way, you can listen to the show on heartlandsignal.com. I mentioned earlier you can listen on TuneIn. And one of our friends, Diane and Dylan, are listening right now. And Diane says, she said, Happy New Year from Diane and Dylan. Hi, you guys. You can also listen to WCPT on the Radio Box app, which doesn't have any commercials. Hope your year is a wonderful thing. Oh, that was very, she says wonderful as me. That's too much. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you very much. Diane and Dylan say hi. Dylan is magnificent at music. He is just great at telling you about every element of music. You know how he's the opposite of me. Like I have an appalling lack of musical knowledge.
So do I.
Yeah. I can't name a song to save my life. I mean, I get maybe 1 out of 10 right. And it's got to be, usually it has to be a woman rocker or something that was in a movie.
Yeah, I'm horrible. They're like, oh, you know so-and-so. I'm like, nah. Then they hummed it to him. I'm like, eh.
I had a friend almost throw himself out of a moving car. We had an Uber driver who couldn't believe it because my friend was like, he was singing some song. I'm like, what is it? Who sings this? And he's like, you don't know it? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not really good with music. And so the Uber driver couldn't believe it either. So he started going through a bunch of different songs, and both of them almost, the Uber driver almost drove off the road. Lenny Schmidt almost bailed. He was like, I can't handle this.
Oh my God!
Don't people get mad at you for not knowing?
No,
my friends get
mad.
They
just stop asking because I don't care. Like,
See, I just laugh. I'm like, nope, I don't. And they can't understand.
I'm like, no. I'm like, do you like it? Okay, then listen to it. Why are you interrupting the music by asking me what the name is?
Yeah. I love to dance. I love music. Let's
Play
go.
the darn song. Like,
yeah.
Let it go.
Why's it got to be a challenge? Why's it got to be a test?
Right.
So Ward Price and Peter Svells will be in studio in a couple weeks. So we look forward to that interview. So go to source.solar, make an appointment, and see if it's time to get solar panels on your house or business. We also want to thank our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Again, thank you to all the folks who have been sending me some kind notes about the latest piece I wrote, which is your outrage is justified. We have to manage our emotions, and we have and by that I mean be ready for 2026. So go to MinocquaBrewingCompany.com and place an order for some maybe progressive brew, some great swag, and subscribe to our Substack. We got a text from a few people. This one, I was thinking about this because I tape all of Jimmy Kimmel's shows. I don't watch them all necessarily, but just so he gets we'll play it and walk out of the. I mean, I like Jimmy Kimmel.
I like him too, especially since that whole
just so he gets through DirecTV, he gets the numbers. So this was the one with Kamala Harris when she was just on recently, and it's fine. I mean, like it was what it was. It was a mess. We knew the moment that Joe Biden walked out on that stage for that debate that we were in trouble. The way it unfolded for weeks. I mean, I had to talk a lot of people off the ledge. People who were like, he's got to drop out of the race, and Biden had a lot of people working against it. Whatever, right? Done and dusted. And she was talking about how challenging it was. And, when they announced it was going to be Kamala Harris, I got in an argument with a really good friend of mine. We didn't talk for 3 weeks because he was so excited. He's like, this is great. Now he got someone young. She's smart and all this stuff. I'm like, she is a woman of color. We don't have enough time to sell this story to people who don't want to vote for a woman of color. For a woman, for someone of color, like you got two. Because someone just texted in, hey, Patty, hold on a second. Now I've lost it. They said that I don't want another woman candidate for U.S. president because voters will elect a man even if he is insane. I'm not a professional psych worker, but I don't know. I remember when Hillary lost, and Hillary's also different because she was such a divisive person. Like people really came out to vote against her.
They did, and I think it's because she wasn't a touchy-feely type.
Right? Like, yeah, she didn't fit the. She didn't.
No, she didn't. She wasn't the. They wanted her to be a woman.
Right.
They wanted her to giggle when she didn't. Then what? Like.
Right.
Come on, like you cannot.
And then when Kamala laughs, she's insane. I mean, she's not laughing the right way.
Yeah.
So the standard is insane because both of them are two of the most qualified candidates we've had in the history of the presidential. I mean, I'm sorry.
Even
Secretary of State,
women, we're harder on each other than we ever are. Like they can stand up. You can give a speech, and we say this all the time. You can be standing up talking about something, and speak intelligently on the topic, and all you hear in the back of the room is, did you see her nail? It's chipped. She didn't get her manicure done. Did you see that hair sticking? Did you hear anything that came out of her mouth, or were you too busy just looking at appearances?
Right.
Because for women, that's what always happens, no matter what field, no matter what it is.
Yes.
Everyone, it's by default. And unless we recognize that and we're willing to step and call each other out on that, like, listen, we need to do better. Like, that's one of the things. Don't do that. So going back to what you were talking about, preparing for 2026 and what it's doing and having to talk to people we maybe don't want to talk to because we all need to be better so we can fight this thing together. That goes with that. Like Democrats have to, I don't care if you don't agree with the Democrats who are more to your left or the Democrats who are more to your right.
Yes.
We're all Democrats. I don't care if you feel safe because we're in a blue state, we're in a blue city, we're in a blue county.
Oh, yeah, we lost.
Feel safe. But look at what's happening to this blue city, blue county, blue state because of who's sitting in the White House. We're literally under attack, and we're still attacking each other here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, what sense does that make?
It is a mess. Yeah, and we don't have, what you're saying is we don't have a solid front.
We don't, and we're not going to win unless we have a solid front. And unfortunately, it's going to fall on, again, those of us who just speaking up. That's it. Don't be afraid to speak your beliefs and to disagree. But like you and I do, we talk and we just talk it out. At the end of the day, listen to our kids, listen to our grandkids. because that's what's going to help us get through it.
Yeah, I mean, well, my son is farther to the left than I am, and like with a lot of anger. I don't know where he gets that from. Again, that's what the work I'm doing, and I talked to him about it last night, and I addressed him like, hey, you know, I know you've been in the house when I've ruminated over things and played things over and over again and held grudges. I'm trying to find a way to, you know, be gentle on myself, but also acknowledge like my role in things. So maybe, you know, maybe be gentler when you're having, because he gets really heated, and like, and he's super smart, so he can be a little aggressive. But like his whole thing, and a lot of people farther to the left than both of us who, you know, didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris because of her stance on Palestine or other issues, and they were like, absolutely not. And like my friend Ben Kamenos, who's a host of Outside the Box, he's like, well, if we say that, you know, incrementally, he's like, basically that's how we've gotten here, is voting for watered down versions of liberals. Is like, well, they're corporatists, or they take a lot, you know, they take a lot of money, and they, you know, they bend to the will of billionaires too. And that's how we've been like, well, at least they're not a Republican, is the way he's.
Yeah, but see, so that's why I keep saying we have to. So I was going back and forth, and it was one of my kids who said, stop and think about everything that's going on, who's done it, left or right, ideas that you don't agree with. Everything that comes from MAGA and from the right is hurtful, demeaning, diminishing, and just terrorizing.
Yeah.
Everything that comes from what people consider the left or socialists, you may not agree with it, but the intention is to help people.
Yeah.
Like, so even if you don't agree with how it's being done, or you think they're over helping and they're costing too much money and they're doing, the intentions are clearly different.
Yes.
So do we need to get to the point where we're thinking about what is the intention? Like,
but they don't believe that. MAGA doesn't believe that our intentions are to help people. I remember I had this argument before.
I don't care what they believe.
That's true. That's a good point.
Within our own Democratic Party, we have to believe it.
Yes. We have to believe that we're coming from a place.
We have to believe that we're coming from a place of good intentions. I don't agree. I'm one of those, what they consider the moderate Democrats. I'm in law enforcement. There's certain beliefs I have and certain things I have. And they're like, oh, you're too far to the right, because I disagree with certain things. But at the end of the day, my daughter's right. At least the intentions are coming from. So now I can deal with it and have the conversation, because I understand it is coming from a place that they're just trying to help.
Right.
I just think that it's going to impact us in not such a good way right now. So can we talk about other ways to accomplish that?
Yes.
Because I'm not going to go over there where these people are.
Yeah. So what are some of the ways that we can, you know, and we'll talk to Francesca Hong, who's coming up in a little bit too. She's a progressive who's running for governor of Wisconsin, folks, which is really exciting. And I know that there's so much happening so fast. I mentioned at the beginning of the first hour that Ed Yonka was talking about, you know, being in this situation a year ago on December 29th, you know, December 30th on the, you know, eve of New Year's Eve, looking at the next administration coming in. And I mean, this has been as bad as I could have imagined. I mean, you know, blowing up boats without, I mean, I did not know that our armed forces were investigators, because now there's reports that this last boat that was shot out of the water, there's evidence there was marijuana, but not necessarily. By the way, for everyone who's like, oh, the fentanyl is coming into this country, it's from Venezuela, it's cocaine. And I don't know why I have to know these things. But I mean, like, a listener called in yesterday about the pharmaceutical companies that have gotten people hooked and maimed and killed by their addictions, like the Purdue family, you know, basically just wiping out entire generations in parts of the country. Like they went in, they were predators to like places where people are injured easily, like in the mines, you know, in places where people are doing backbreaking work, and basically just got these people hooked on these drugs. And I don't know why people aren't more angry at these billionaires. Why are we always so angry at the brown people?
Because we can't get to the billionaires.
I know.
They're not everyday people. We can't get to them. We can't.
And we want to be like them.
We can't get to them. So who can you get to? You can get to your neighbor. You can get to the guy at the grocery store. You can get to the waiter. You can get to the teacher. You can get to the police officer. These are people in your community that you deal with every day in your life. It's easier.
Yeah. And these people have built bunkers to keep us away in case we do revolt, or there's, you know, the damage that they have done becomes so dangerous that
they have so many people convinced that they're doing it for our own good.
Yeah. It's wild. It is.
This is for your own good.
And it was a sort of really kind of a slow slog to being so dependent on them. I mean, like Amazon. I remember the news stories about this guy selling, books out of, I think it was like Nebraska. He had like a call center and started in his garage and all this stuff. And the next thing you know, you can order an easy chair delivered tomorrow. Like what?
Yeah. Or today if it's in stock at the warehouse near you.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and the range.
I got my black stockings within 4 hours.
Right. And like there's not a way to make Bezos, sort of more altruistic or more invest. I mean, like Costco seems to be doing it the right way in their philosophy of running a business. There are wealthy people who have a vision of taking care of others. And by the way, we have to go. Let's take a break here. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to talk to Francesca Hong, who's running for governor of Wisconsin. I'm so excited. Let's take a break here and continue our conversation. We have our guest co-host Carmen Navarre Gercone in studio with us. More in a moment on WCPT and KKNW 1150.
Still struggling with gas, bloat, constipation, nausea, or diarrhea? Have you tried eliminating foods but felt no change? It's time to call the tummy whisperer, Renee Barish, at Digestive Health Solutions. Renee uses targeted testing to reveal exactly what's happening in your gut. Gut bacteria plays a key role in all your body functions, from cardiovascular regulation to brain function. When the gut is imbalanced, you may experience symptoms that extend beyond the gut, such as anxiety, skin issues, poor sleep, or increased risk for disease. Digestive Health Solution uses advanced testing to identify harmful microbes and evaluate the overall balance of the gut ecosystem. Get insights into your health, digestion, and how your microbiome affects all aspects of your body. Stop suffering. Call Renee now at 847-207-2034 or visit thetummywhisperer.com. That number is 847-207-2034. Let's get you feeling better. The Tummy Whisperer.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
From the personal experiences that shaped you to the accomplishments that shaped the world, every moment of a veteran's service is meaningful. At the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, we ensure those moments are never forgotten. For 25 years, the collection has made the experiences of U.S. military veterans accessible to all. Veterans, now is the time to share your story and make our history more complete. To submit your stories, photographs, and documents, visit loc.gov/vets today.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our conversation. Joining me in studio is Carmen Navarre Gercone. She is our law enforcement expert and our moderate Democrat. I'm somewhere in between far left and moderate. I don't know. Here's the thing. Maybe our guest, who's running for the governor of Wisconsin, Francesca Hong, can help us through this, because we were talking about Francesca. First of all, hi, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well. It's good to be back. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I think we're having a little bit of trouble with your phone. Are you? I know that you're super busy and probably trying to get to a location in between door knocking and events. But we're trying. Oh, let's see. Hello?
How's now?
Oh, much better.
Much better.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I know that you continue to hold the state rep seat in Wisconsin, in Madison, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. And we're so excited that you're running for governor. And I know that our friend Nina Martinez is now running for state rep seat, and we're excited about that. We were talking a little bit about, Wisconsin's a great example of a place that has really dramatic swings, I think, when it comes to who people vote for. I mean, you've got Ron Johnson, then you have Tammy Baldwin. Tell us a little bit about the dynamics that you're looking at in running for governor and what your vision is in helping people.
Yes, Wisconsin is weird when it comes to politics and unicorn, if you will. What I am seeing now is that working class people are coming together on talking about issues that they are struggling with. And while they may not know that we can be united on this, I think there is a growing sense of resentment, but also fear, and there's opportunities to mobilize there. And so I think you're going to see Wisconsin turn more into a purple state than we saw in 2024. And I feel like there's an opportunity here for progressives to really reclaim our working class roots.
I agree. I think that's what it really has to come down to, because we were talking about how people are more likely to be angry at their neighbors. Carmen mentioned, you're someone at the grocery store or, doing landscaping than they are at the people who are causing this problem. They're not angry at the billionaires who have really ravaged this country when it comes to our resources.
Yes, it's very important for all the Democrats who are campaigning right now and for elected officials, our Democratic organizers, to name that villain. And here in Wisconsin, that includes Robin Vos, who has been, holding authoritarian power in the state legislature on issues that really impact all of our communities, defunding our public schools, not holding polluters accountable. It's really important that we continue not only to name the villains that are at the national level and authoritarianism that's at the federal level and the billionaires. But here in Wisconsin, it's been the state legislature that has really caused us to go from a state that was, has been defined by progressivism, and now we've been going backwards for the last 16 years. And so I think what has been effective for our campaign is, yes, we are talking about affordability, but we want to make sure that we're presenting solutions on permanent affordability and naming the villain of Robin Vos and the billionaires in our state that have continued to make it so that they have power and working class people don't.
Yeah, I mean, and that part has to be communicated. What do you find is effective with maybe people who might be resistant to that line of conversation?
Wisconsin people are incredibly proud, and we work hard, and we do take care of our neighbors and our communities. So it's important to frame things in fairness, that, big ag is coming in and making it so smaller farmers have to pay exorbitant prices for things like cow waste, while the bigger agricultural companies, that's like pennies to them, right? We need to talk about corporations that are making massive profits, getting away with tax subsidies and not paying their fair share. And so it is about presenting more opportunities so working class people don't have to make tough choices, but can live in the place that they want and afford. It's about making an affordable Wisconsin. And so when we frame things around fairness, when we tell personal stories about what's been going on, I think that there's a lot of opportunity to bring working class people together, organize, and take back the state legislature.
Yeah, because your state legislature was really having a stranglehold on, funding childcare. You have a vision for childcare. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. We are proposing universal child care, and so all families that are making under the 400% federal poverty line, which for a family of four is around $110,000, 0 to 12 would be fully free child care, and then those families making above the 400% federal poverty limit would be, have subsidized care that is based on income levels. And it's important to know that when we're talking about childcare, we have to look at supporting providers and recognizing that childcare is infrastructure, and it has been a crisis in Wisconsin for many years. And so ensuring that our providers have subsidies from the state to be able to pay their childcare workers fair wages, make the repairs that they need in their homes. And so treating childcare and really investing in the care economy is paramount to our platform.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Carmen.
No, that's it. And when you talk about that, whenever I hear that was a problem I didn't have to worry about in Illinois ever, right? When I was 21 years old and I needed childcare so I can go to work, I had subsidized programs to help pay for childcare so that I can go to work. And in a lot of states, I feel like somebody, a 21-year-old Carmen in another state like Wisconsin right now, would have a difficult time being successful in making it or being where I am 31 years later if those programs hadn't been available for me. And I think that's what people need to understand, that they're not meant to be permanent, but we they're there to help. They're there at the end goal is to make a better life and to stop the generational issues. Right now, my children are better off because their mother had got the support she needed when she was 21.
It's about economic freedom, right?
Yes.
Folks to be able to work where they want to work and have the hours that they need. And if we don't invest in care infrastructure like childcare, like ensuring paid leave, like making sure our care workers and those who are doing in-home care, our CNAs, these are people in the workforce. These are not jobs that we can automate. And so when we invest in care, we are not only strengthening our economy, we are stabilizing it. And so framing things in freedom, around freedoms and especially economic freedoms, I think it allows folks to recognize that this isn't the way it has to be. And when we are presented with more choices because the government is taking accountability to create those opportunities, it becomes a little bit less about, what's a handout and who needs this. And it's like, well, we all drive on roads and we all go to the public library, then it means that we have to invest our fair share in these things.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I am so, I try not to freak out about the funding for, people who rely on Medicaid, Medicare. You have a vision for Wisconsin, because I really think that every state now needs to fortify themselves against what's coming with this bill, the big bastardly bill. Tell us about your vision for healthcare in Wisconsin as well.
Wisconsin is one of 2 states that has not expanded Medicaid or Badger Care as it is the program here in Wisconsin. So expanding Badger Care is absolutely the bare minimum. And so beyond that, we have to look at tackling our healthcare catastrophe with, comprehensively through multiple lanes. And so our plan includes a single payer option, increasing basic health plans, and also looking at some of these massive for-profit hospitals and ensuring that they are reimbursing folks at fair levels, but also that we have to look at a different, more fair tax system to ensure that these hospital profits and larger corporations aren't going back to the shareholders, but actually being invested back to make sure that we can lower premiums. And then there's also the care infrastructure part, right? We need to make sure that we're investing in our healthcare workers, looking at pipelines for more nurses and CNAs and social workers. These are all folks that are part of healthcare, and so it is not enough to just expand Medicaid in our state. We have to build resiliency and protections of our healthcare system to ensure that everyone in Wisconsin can have access to high-quality, affordable healthcare.
Outstanding. I know that it's gotten to be a bit of a crowded race, but we want to make sure that folks know more about your campaign. What's the website and the best way for people to learn more about the work that you're doing and how they can get involved?
Yes, www.francescahong.com, on all social media, at Francesca Hong WI. We have the most comprehensive policy platform that I'm so proud of. Over 1,500 volunteers who have signed up for our grassroots campaign. And there's an exciting movement happening in Wisconsin. I hope folks will come through and check it out.
Well, I think you've really proven yourself in the work and the way you've served the people of Wisconsin, and we're proud to have these conversations with you. And I'm so glad that you took on this challenge to run for governor of Wisconsin. So thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Anytime, you too. We'll look forward to talking to you again. That's a. Go get it. Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yep. Let's take a break here. We'll continue our conversation on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Thanks for listening, folks. Appreciate it.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Look for mainly cloudy skies tonight with a chance of light snow. A low temperature of 23 degrees with winds out of the west at 10 to 20, a dusting up to an inch of snowfall. Wednesday, we'll see a chance of snow with about an inch of accumulation and a high of 30, with northwest winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour. New Year's Eve, light snow, low of 12. New Year's Day, Thursday, partly sunny and a high of 22. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 22.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Kohl's new clearance markdowns are intense. Up to 70% off is the kind of deal that'll leave you feeling stunned and make you whisper things like, "Where have you been my whole life?" to a cardigan. Just take a deep breath, steady your cart, and try to act normal. But it's not possible. The savings are just too good. Shop new clearance markdowns now, in-store and online at Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
After serving in the military, life can seem like an endless loop. But the cycle can be broken. You're not alone. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or
and Pete.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining as we continue to drive it home. I'm your host, Patti Vasquez. Joining me in studio is our wonderful guest co-host, Carmen Navarre Gercone. She's our law enforcement expert and former candidate for Cook County Sheriff. And I think that I like the theme of what we're talking about, which is that we have to get down to the bare bones of the fact that Democrats have come from a place of good intentions. And we have to keep reminding ourselves of that. And our intentions do get spread thin. Like they're what we want good intentions to go towards.
We want to save the world.
Right. Exactly.
Save everybody.
Like I can't. I think about this, and like my understanding outside of it, like my international policy understanding is dismal. I will admit that, understanding the Middle East and our relations with China, with Russia. Like, I mean, I can get the sort of the headlines, and I can see that President Trump is. I mean, I'm sorry, that Trump is, somebody really hates that I call him the P word.
Did you see my nostrils flare? Am I cool?
I know.
Trump.
That Trump, that he is just so beholden to Putin. I mean, like that is not, and to Netanyahu.
And when did American business start being handled? America's business is being handled not at the White House.
Yeah.
But at Mar-a-Lago. When did we start holding a bit like what? And no one says anything about.
I know.
I don't get that. That's irritating me.
Did you know that there's so many crazy stories now coming out because of the just crazy dumping of Epstein files? But one story I saw, I didn't know that Monica Seles, the tennis player, she went to Mar-a-Lago, and then she's in this like jeans commercial where she's kind of like hanging out with Trump and kind of like this. If I'm going to be with anybody, it's going to be with Trump. Like when she was really young, like there's like this whole sort of time period of bizarre and disgusting, and like it was happening kind of out in the open, it seems, and yet he was like, well, we weren't friends, or I was, and we know on the flight logs that's coming out in these Epstein files that he was on the flight at least 8 times, at least a million D pages that are coming out. It's Can I ask you this, as someone who's in law enforcement? Do you think? I mean, do you ever hear about, because you've been in local law enforcement, Cook County Sheriff's Department? Do you ever get a sense that, like, at that level, like the FBI, the Secret Service, like there are people that just like they're never going to talk about what actually happened?
They can't either. I mean,
ever?
You can't. No. You can't. Like, if there's information that can be FOIA'd, then you let the documents and stuff speak for themselves, unless they're going to, write a book, right? Where they're going to not use their real name. But other than that, you really work product and the rules and
because they can be prosecuted.
Yeah, you cannot.
But there's got to be somebody in there that wants to just gunk the whole, be the cog in the machine. And
well, somebody's saying something.
It's right.
Somebody is saying something, and things are coming out, and everything is going to eventually come out. I have to believe that. Otherwise,
right?
Yeah, I have to believe that. But I mean, you look around, even in local, you kind of have to, there's some stuff that.
Right, that never ever gets addressed and gets swept under the carpet. Okay, that's all right. Let's get to Myrna. Myrna in Chicago, you're on with me and Carmen Navarre Gercone. What's on your mind, my friend?
Hi, ladies. I just wanted to comment about you. You mentioned about how you're trying to improve and let things go a little bit.
Well, not so much letting it go, but putting it where it belongs, I think, is a better place. Like looking at it differently. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah, and like I was just telling Lady B, if you notice, see, a lot of people use the "karma is a witch" phrase. I don't use that. My attitude is things have a way of taking care of themselves eventually. Sometimes it happens rapidly. Sometimes it takes a little longer than we expect, but it'll amend itself. And like I mentioned to Lady B, if you notice, people are changing their attitude towards Trump. If you watch any of his appearances, you're seeing less and less people wearing their MAGA hats.
Interesting.
Less T-shirts, less merchandise, period.
Huh.
And this is because he and his party, or not the party, but his cabinet, are doing it to themselves. We didn't have to say, hey, look at what an idiot he is, and we let him show what an idiot he is on his own. And look at the support that he's lost. Look at his numbers, how low they are. Like I said, eventually things will take care of themselves. He's doing it all himself. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to do name calling or finger pointing. It's all being done by him and his party.
Yeah, I'm a tad bit impatient, and I'm going to need it to speed up just a little bit.
I know. I hear you on that.
Just pay attention to his appearances, and you'll see less and less MAGA T-shirts and hats. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, I'm going to pay attention. I've just been trying not to pay attention to him, so I'm going to have to work on that. Yeah, no, that's a good point, though. Yeah, that's a silver lining.
Yeah, big time. All right, thank you.
Myrna, happy New Year if I don't talk to you tomorrow, my friend. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care. We've got a text. Hold on, let me see what this. I don't know. So someone just asked me. I have not grabbed onto every single story that has come out, but I did. I've scrolled through a couple of things about the postmark that apparently has been. There's a postmark rule change that can impact getting ballots and bills. So effective
on USA Today.
Yeah. So the machine that applied postmarks show the date the date mail is first processed at a sorting facility, not necessarily the day it was dropped off. So it's not getting stamped anymore when you drop it off. So it could just be yep. The face that Carmen just made is appropriate because, you mail in your bill, you mail in your ballot. It's not going to say.
What's the reason for that?
Let's see. The postmark date will be the date of the first automated sorting operation at a processing facility, which can be several days after mailing. This means that things like tax returns, bill payments, or ballots might be marked late, which can lead to penalties or rejection. I don't know why. I'm not sure why it happened. Rule change. Why? Let's see what happens there. Are you finding any? This is something that I feel like you're right, listener. Not enough of us are talking about this in the 773.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, this is crazy. The United States Postal Service changed its postmark date service, and this is a story. This has been reported since early December, and no one's really talking about it. They say the primary purpose is to improve public understanding. That while this is let's see, delays, operational reality. I'm not really seeing. I don't know why we have to understand anything. It identifies the types of markings that qualify. Its primary purpose is to improve public understanding that while a postmark confirms the USPS process a mail piece on the date inscribed, that date does not necessarily align with the date the USPS first accepted possession of the item. This clarifies that the USPS does not postmark all mail in the ordinary course of operations, and that the absence of a postmark does not imply the USPS did not accept custody. What? I just feel like I watch a snake eat itself.
The recommendation is for people to go inside of their local post office and ask for a hand-stamped manual postmark.
My God.
That's the solution.
Wow.
Or use certified mail.
I don't understand what was wrong with it before.
I guess they're saying there's not as many letters being processed and mailed, and so
right, because I've never thought much about it.
When the volume of paper letters is dropping and the number of packages is increasing.
There we go. I thought the post office was dying. I thought that they didn't want to fund it anymore. Is this part of the? Yeah, this seems a little bit sketchy.
Oh my Lord!
Thank you to the 773 for alerting me to that element that has developed. Whew, boy. All right, folks. Well, make sure you get your mail out. Presumably, you've gotten your Christmas mail out. I still have a few Christmas cards.
I got one today in the mail it was stamped December 18th.
What?
And I just got it today.
Oh, interesting.
And my husband sent out some interesting Christmas cards this year, just to a few close friends. And some of them got it took 6-7 days when normally it would take 2 or 3
days. Yeah. That's my experience. Yeah. We are hanging out in the studio with Carmen Navarre Gercone. We're heading into the home stretch for our driving it home with me, Patti Vasquez. Lady B is behind the glass. If you call, you'll hear her lovely voice. Be nice to her, because then you get to talk to us. 773-763-9278. That's 7. I know most people are nice to her. I shouldn't make it sound like people aren't nice to her, because those folks don't call in as often. Do they? And not that much. Yeah. 773-763-9278. That's the number to call or text. We'll be right back after this on WCPT 820 in Chicago, KKNW 1150 in Seattle, and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is First Take at Daybreak with Al Kendall. Sundays, 7 a.m., where sharp minds meet real conversations. From city programs making a difference to guests shaping Chicagoland's future, Al's got the mic and the message. You'll hear from folks like Board President Tony Preckwinkle, city and county officials, and maybe even your alderman. He has a rotating cast of insiders who actually know what's going on. If you want the headlines and the backstory, start your morning here. First Take at Daybreak. Sundays, 7 a.m., unplugged and unfiltered.
The key to unlock the next breakthrough in cancer research could be sitting in your driveway. Stand Up to Cancer's vehicle donation program makes it easy to turn your unwanted vehicle into funding to support innovative cancer research. So when you're looking to get rid of your old car, truck, motorcycle, RV, or boat, why not donate it to Stand Up to Cancer? You can be a driving force in cancer research. Donate your car today. Visit standuptocancer.org/cars to learn more.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Tell me how you're doing. Really. Tell me that you missed the bus this morning, your rent's past due, and your stress level has skyrocketed. I'm here for you. To listen, not judge. To connect you to local mental health resources. No matter what you're going through, specialists like me from NAMI Chicago Helpline are here for you. Call or text Helpline to 833-626-4244. That's 833-626-4244.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Union Strong Chicago continues to lead the way with progressive values and in preserving democracy. Your support of the Minocqua Brewing Company Super PAC efforts in Wisconsin and beyond strengthens the fight against MAGA Republicans. You can now purchase progressive beers like Labor Lager, Love Wins Fruited Sour, and the Resistance IPA in Chicago at Rogers Park Provisions, Diversity Beer, Wine, and Spirits in Lakeview, Park West Liquor, Wine, and Beer in Lincoln Park, Logan Square Liquors, and Tip Top Food and Liquors in Westtown. Visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com for all their Chicagoland locations. As always, no matter how bad our sports teams are, please drink responsibly.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue our drive home. Joining me in studio is Carmen Navarre Gercone. She's our law enforcement expert, and she's former candidate for Cook County Sheriff. We want to just take a couple quick texts, and I want to get to our phone call as well, because I know he's been on hold. I want to stay on the post office for a moment. We were talking about how the postmark has been changed. It will now be postmarked as it's processed through the centers, not necessarily at the post office that you drop it off at. Like if you drop it in the mailbox, it's might not be that day. So for your bills, your ballots, your any kind of mail that you're sending. Let's see. Somebody wrote, could it possibly be a way to invalidate mail-in ballots? Might be. We have another one that says, Patti, the United States Postal Service increase in packages is due to the deal they made with Amazon to deliver at a very low rate. Interesting. And someone else says, I'm thinking the post office is trying to make itself look better because packages are sent out with a different carrier originally. People will blame the post office, although they may not get it until days later. Etsy, for one, vendors have postage machines and show package on the way when the post office actually doesn't even have the package yet. See, anyway, yeah. What?
Like, I'm just thinking like taxes when we do not only the ballots, but what about when you have to have your taxes done? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that April 15th date.
Right. Yeah. So does that mean that now, because that was the whole, like, we would all, like, they used to have it on the news. That doesn't even happen anymore. Like,
no,
where people
not
are like,
that much anymore. But
plus,
I mean, still,
now,
I'm just,
yeah.
It makes no sense. I would think the only thing it's going to impact is those mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people pay their bills online too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, all of that. It's so weird. Paul in Seattle, what's on your mind? I think you were calling about a different topic. Yes, Paul?
Well, yeah, but, I ordered a book from Amazon as a Christmas gift. I ordered it before Thanksgiving. It said that I got an email that it had been shipped, like, right after Thanksgiving. I still haven't gotten it. And I got a notice that said delivery expected December 18th to January 8th. This is a book. So, yeah, another carrier has it. If they said it's shipped, did they email me? Why did they say it's shipped? Shipped from where? I mean, it almost doesn't matter from where, because it could come from anywhere in the world and be here sooner than that, except for some secondary shipper is sitting on it trying to rid their warehouse of all the stuff they got to deal with. But, I think there's part of that. And, of course, it's going to affect ballots. But I guess what I want to talk about is, wait, 1 million pages of Epstein files?
Yeah. There's a million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, look, I like to do this. Because I'm a math head. 1 million pages. Okay, so a ream of printer paper, 500 pages, is about 3 inches thick. So 1 million pages, if we stack them up, that's 2,000. That's 2,000 reams of printer paper. That's 6,000 inches. So if you print on both sides, that's going to be 250 feet high. That's 25 stories high of Epstein files. I mean, what the F, right?
Yep.
I mean, what is this all about? And somebody's going to, well, it ought to be easy to flesh out all the pervert Democrats with 1 million pages. But why the delay? Because it's all about one pervert, the guy in the White House.
Yeah.
And, but the thing is, you know what? I don't think it's really it's counterproductive to keep forcing it on the MAGAs because this makes them more defensive. And they're having a hard enough time wearing the circle of, just life, like how expensive their medical premiums are going to be, their medical insurance premiums are going to be. And they're already thinking, as I think maybe you heard me say this, but one holiday dinner story with a friend of mine said that she went to her sister's house and sister's daughter, niece, brings boyfriend that's wearing hoodie sweatshirt to Christmas table. It says on one side, guns don't kill people, fathers with young daughters do. And on the other side it says, I'm never more than 6 feet away from my gun.
Yeah.
This is the guy who voted for Trump, and he's like, I mean, wait a minute. He must be wrestling with the Epstein files. And then the other thing about this guy is apparently he was unaware that the land masses of the world are called continents and that he lives on the North American continent. This was the guy's 30 years old. He's dumb as a pile of rocks, okay?
Right.
But he's a MAGA. He's all about his gun. And I asked my friend, I said, so did you say, is there peace packed in your little kangaroo pocket of your hoodie there? Or are you within 6 feet of your gun now here at the table? It's just like, I mean, these people are stupid.
The
all right?
fetishism of guns there's responsible gun ownership. Like, I have thought about getting a firearm myself. It would not be something that I glorified or went around talking. I mean, like, it would just be my knowing, my family knowing, being safe for them, being trained. I would want to have muscle memory for in the event that I need it. Meaning I would want to be practicing and out on the range and getting the training and getting retrained. Like, that's what you do. You don't, like, you're not waving it around or like gloating about it with a hoodie. Like, oh my guns! Yeah. I got guns. I'm so cool.
Because in that case, it's not about safety.
I mean, think of it this way. I mean, how threatened is this 30-year-old young man that if he's so ignorant, he doesn't even know he lives on the North American continent, yet he feels he needs to be within arm's reach of a gun at all times? This is a scary person. This is a person, I think anybody in law enforcement would agree, definitely should. He doesn't have the wisdom, the knowledge, the anything to have a gun. He just doesn't. He doesn't know when to use it. He doesn't know he has no concept of any types of rules of engagement. This is just something like he says. Guns don't people do, fathers with young daughters do. I mean, it's like, this is his meme by which he has his gun, which means he's looking for an opportunity to use it. And that's really that's the problem with most people with guns is that they have a gun because they're looking for an opportunity to use it. They don't. I mean, I don't have a gun. I don't need a gun. There's no time in my life. I've never, in all my 66 plus years, felt that I've never needed a gun. And I've lived in several big cities. I'm blind. I've been on the streets at all hours of the day and night here in Seattle and never felt threatened. Never felt like I even need to throw a punch or anything. Never on anything. Mm-hmm. So why people think they need to be within arm's reach of a gun of all times makes me think that they are so threatened about their own brain that they feel like, I might have to react, and which is, of course, the worst thing to do. with regard to a firearm is react. It's something that you have to have intentional action, not reaction.
And I was just going to say that intentions matter. And the reason you have the firearm is the intentions matter in all aspects of our life, even with firearms. Intentions matter.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's, I think it's time to just kind of take the power away from Donald Trump by just moving on and not reacting to the guy is a deplorable, he's the biggest jerk in American history. And to keep telling the MAGAs that only makes them defensive and reactive about, because they can't admit that, he really is. And everybody knows that he is. Just let them deal. I mean, that's the swamp they swim in. Let's move on. It's kind of like I can only keep getting mad about it so many times before I've been bored with it a long time. So it's time to kind of move on with what we all do to make things better. And, the people, the guy who doesn't know that the land masses of the world are continents, he's not my competition. That's not, I'm not dealing with him. He's got and I don't know who's going to hire him. I don't know how he gets employed. His life problems must be so massive because, just a conversation with somebody like that, you're going to find out in short order, no, I don't think I'm going to hire you. I don't think a lot of things about you that I'm going to do. When that comes out, right, is that you don't even know where you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something I need to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for sharing all of this. I appreciate it. Have a good night, my friend.
Good night.
Take care. Carmen, I think, I've been talking about the work I've been doing, studying Stoicism and Buddhism. And I love what you brought up, talking about good intentions and where Democrats come from. And I want to remind folks, we can't control what's happening to us, but we can control who we are in 2026.
Yep.
And I think grounding ourselves in what you talked about is really important.
Yes.
Appreciate
Love
that.
even those.
Okay.
I'm not even going to finish the sentence. I don't want your nostrils to flare.
No, I agree. I mean, I think coming from having your belief system based in love and you having to come back to it, it's not going to work all the time. It's not. You're not going to go, I love this. I love seeing Greg. I love Greg Bovino. I don't.
No, I don't.
No, don't.
I don't. I don't like what he's doing. I don't like what he stands for.
Yeah. But we're all humans, and we all, whatever led us to this point, whatever fed his, I don't know where that came from, and if it had been us.
But that's not my concern.
Not my concern. Thank you, Lady B. Have a great night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Loved one owns a gun, and you're concerned about their behavior. You're worried they might harm themselves or others. You wish more than anything you could hit pause on this situation.